guys, it's Silver, and I quickly wanted to talk to you guys today about knowing who you are in the moment as a system, because sometimes we don't, and that's okay. With lots of popular DID and OSDD media, whether that's movies or YouTubers or even us, people with DID tend to present as if they always know who's in front at any given time. And the reality is that's just not quite correct. It's a huge part of DID or OSDD or any dissociative disorder to just not know who you are in the moment. You can be blurry as if multiple alters were blending together in the moment and you can't separate each other out, or you can just feel like a blank void and like no one really is there in the front. Or you just might be confused and genuinely not know. All of these are very common experiences for systems. And it's not always bad. Sometimes it's a net negative experience, but sometimes it's just like, okay, that's just how life is going in that moment. The negative experiences tend to fall into like being trapped between a switch or being really disoriented and confused and distressed over the fact that you don't know who you are. But many other times, systems, us included, are just comfortable being in that space. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it just kind of is. Especially under stress. You just might not know who's fronting at any given moment, and that's okay. Something we've experienced, and something so many of our other friends who are systems have experienced, is not knowing who's switched until a long period of time after you switched. So maybe like an hour later after the switch, you're like, oh, wait a second, I'm this person. And it's common for switches like that to occur without you noticing, and then you realize it later on. Recently, we had a couple of weeks, like a week and a half, of switching like this, where we didn't know who was there before, and we didn't know who was there after. We kept logging the switches because we could feel them in our body, but we just didn't know who was fronting, and that was okay. We were still functional. It got distressing near the end, but just because it was frustrating. But overall, we handled it well, and this is a normal part of the DID and OSD experience. And when we're feeling like this, we tend to compare ourselves to a jumbled up jar of many different liquids. You know, in like elementary school when you do that science experiment where you'd pour vinegar and oil and water and salad dressing into like a beaker and you'd let it sit for 30 minutes and it would all separate out into little lines. Our metaphor for not knowing who's in the front is someone took that beaker and shook it up, and there's a whole bunch of little particles all agitated, all feeling emotions, all stressed at the same time, and you can't clearly make out the layers. Because for us, periods like this are definitely brought on by stress. When a whole bunch of people are feeling a whole bunch of different emotions inside, that means everyone's bubbling up near the front, and there's more people poking their heads in and out of being in control of the body. And with all the internal waters being so in flux, sometimes it's hard to figure out who's the furthest to the front and who's the farthest from the front when everyone is feeling so many emotions and is getting so close to the front. It's messy, it's confusing, and sometimes that's what DID and OSDD is. There's been so many times recently where we've been chatting with someone, they've asked us questions, we've had a nice conversation, and then they've said, oh, may I ask who I'm speaking to right now? And we've kind of gone, your guess is as good as ours. I think it's Silver. Someone else is here too. Who knows? And it's especially these moments where we find that we appreciate plural language the most. Just being able to say, oh, we switched, but we're not sure who to. We did this thing together. We're plural, we're just functioning multiple, and that's okay. Without really needing to define who is at the front at any given time, because sometimes we don't know. So especially in these stressful times, if you're a system going through this, you're not invalid. This is a normal experience to not know who's fronting, to feel mixed, to feel in flux and jumbly and not quite sure of what's going on. A lot of people in your system might be having a lot of reactions, and I know for us that's definitely shaken up the jar a little bit. So our advice is to, if you can, take a deep breath. Find something to reduce your level of stress. Do something calming like reading a book or playing Animal Crossing, and keep checking in with yourselves. Take a moment to just notice who you feel connected with in the moment, who might be around near the front with you, whether you know who you are or not. Check in with how your body is posturing itself. How are you walking? How are you sitting? Ask yourself some basic questions and do some identity-based grounding. Ask yourself, do you like coffee? Do you like tea? Do you like hot chocolate? What's your favorite food? What do you enjoy doing in your free time? Who do you feel closest to externally? Or simply just looking down a list of names of those who are in your system and seeing which names you connect with at the moment. Asking yourself some of these questions might help parse out who you are or who the many people are who might be near the front at any given moment. And remember, it's okay if the answer is I don't know, or multiple people, or we are just existing as multiple right now, and that's okay. It's okay to not know, and it's okay to just exist. Remember, at the end of the day, our goal should be pursuing a life that makes us happy and makes us feel fulfilled and engaged in the things we are doing. And regardless of whether you know who you are or you don't, you can still work towards that goal. Anyways, stay safe, guys. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. My altars are tossed like a salad.